Ladies and gentlemen, wherever in the world you may be at this particular moment, I would like to personally welcome you to something that you've probably heard before, but never really got to fully experience. Pardon the expression. Welcome to the Davis Star experience. Right now, we have a very interesting time in America. We are in a rather interesting time if you are a member of the African American community in this country. This is an interesting time because right now, as we speak, as of about maybe an hour, I say now, give or take, maybe two, I'm not too sure. But we now, for the very first time ever, have a former president who is now and will forever be a convicted felon. That's right. Donald Trump, in case you've been living under a rock for the last hour and some change, was just convicted of all 34 counts against him regarding the hush money scandal behind Stormy Daniels and all that whole jazz there. I'm not going to bore you with the particulars of it, but this is a significant issue here. This is a doozy. I mean, we really have a guy who is convicted of being he was convicted of a crime in this country, who was a sitting president at one time. The guy who everybody swears was gonna bail this country out of everything. That man has been convicted of a crime and he's going to do jail time. He's going to jail. I don't care what anybody says. He's going to jail. The question is how long and how's that going to affect the upcoming election? Because you got to remember, y'all, just because he was convicted today does not mean he cannot run. I wish that there was some type of loophole that changed that law. I wish it was something where that we could do about it, that we could really like get him up out of here. But no, doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Uh, Unfortunately, as they pointed out on CNN, just because he was convicted of this crime does not make him ineligible to run for office. This is not going to turn into a PSA for voters' rights and all that jazz. There, I'm not going to do that. Actually, you know what? I will one day, not today. That'll come in a couple of weeks. Somebody remind me, because I'm going to do a whole thing on voting and voters' rights and election history and things of that nature. I'm because my thing is this: we always bitch about why things are so wrong in this country, but yet we're not doing anything to actually stop it, or we're not doing what we're supposed to do as uh as law-abiding citizens that are able to vote. Given the fact that some of us have not been convicted of a felony, and given that some of us have not been in trouble with the law, that preclude us from voting, from being able to cast our vote at the ballot box. My thing is, we are at a place now in this country where voting is essential. Voting is literally vital to our survival. Because I don't care what anyone says. Trump was trying to get us out of here. Trump was trying to get rid of us, as far as I'm concerned, with that whole January 6th nonsense. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to offend people. No, I'll be nice. But yeah, Trump is done. He's not. as far as him overall, he's done. But unfortunately, his presidential hopes are not. There's a possibility he could still run, at least judging from the way he was waving at people. That's kind of what that vibe gave off was, yeah, I'm convicted of a felony, but guess what? I'm still going to run and I'm still going to be your president. I'm like, okay. But what can you do? What can you really do? I know what I can do. I know what I'm going to do. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what happens. I'm going to the ballot box when it's time, November, whenever, and I'm going to vote. I'm going to cast my vote, and I'm going to do what I got to do as a citizen of this country. You know, we're going to do what we're supposed to do to ensure the future of our country. Because the country's future is at stake here. Can you imagine how other countries are going to look at us if he actually wins the election? Let's say this man gets sentenced to 4 or 5 years in jail. And we're going to look into what the possible outcomes of the sentence guidelines may be. Because I'm not familiar with the sentencing guidelines. And this ain't just it. I think he's got more situations that he's got to answer for. Because you got the hush money thing, and he's got lawsuits and things like that he's got to answer for. So yeah, he's done. He's in trouble. Um, but yeah, can you imagine what would happen if he was actually found guilty? If he was actually convicted? Well, no, he was convicted. But can you imagine how other countries are going to look at us if we have a convicted felon as our president? I wonder if this is another Simpsons episode prophecy. That would be kind of weird. I've never been really super mega into the conspiracy theory thing, but if this does happen, I'm going to have to start asking myself questions. Like, what the hell is going on here? Because that would be a little too coincidental there. Yeah, I said it. So they found him guilty. I'll be honest with you. When I saw that, uh, I had I kind of been in my own little box all day. You know, resting, works a lot of hours, resting, trying to get my body rested, and relaxing, chilling, trying to take a load off. You know, I look up and I see, shout out to Grown Folks TV. I see he had a thing up. Trump found guilty, and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't even get the breaking news yet. How he know? I ain't even peep. Something said, I will still have sleep, by the way, because I get the notification. By the way, subscribe to the GX. Oh, wow. Hold on. Brain reset, go. Make sure you subscribe to Grown Folks TV. Please do that expeditiously. Shout out to ZX and the family. But yeah, I saw that he had posted something like that. I was like, why does it say upcoming Donald Trump's going to jail or found guilty or something like that? I'm like, did he jump the gun? No. I turn on the TV and there it is. Boom. Turn on CNN. Big bold letters. Trump found guilty. When I tell you, I could picture in my mind all the ancestors standing there screaming, like hype, because we're actually going to get justice now. That man, I feel like, and I'm sure other people felt like, went out of his way to stop a lot of things that we were trying to do. That's how I felt. Like he really was trying his best to try to divide this country. That January 6th thing, all him. All him. Yeah. He really, really tried it. And once that whole thing blew up, it made him look like an a-hole. But it is what it is. He's done. And now we really got to look at what's next in this country. We got to figure out what's next. Because my question becomes now, what happens to the election? So please understand what's about to happen here. What you're about to see is about to be, from this point going forward now, everything that you see, as far as what the Republicans do, as far as what the Democrats do, has never, ever been done before in regards to a president who was convicted of a crime. This is something that we've never seen before and hopefully never see again. But what can you do? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen now, but I know one thing. Democrats and Republicans are going to be fighting about this for the next 8 weeks until it's time for us. Well, I'm not sure if it's 8 weeks or not, but they're going to be fighting over this until it's time to actually sentence this dude. So, yeah, everything that you thought you knew about it, no. No, no, no. Everything that we thought we knew is over with. You don't know nothing until you see what is going on now. I mean, we literally have a guy running for president who was convicted of a felony. Not just one, but multiple. And still you're gonna have people screaming, "Oh yeah, we love Trump." Okay. You can love him from a cell. You can love him from the feds. Because that's ultimately where he's going. Ultimately, he's going to New York somewhere. They're gonna ship him off to like a super uber max. The super max prisons are going to love this guy. Do you have any idea how many guys are about to make some major, unnecessarily long overtime over this dude? Just to protect him. They're gonna have to work overtime just to keep this dude safe. And you know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Because now we get to really see where this country is going to go. At the end of the day, this country is going to go through a change and a shift that we have never, ever seen before. Kind of like how people, when he got elected, started coming out the woodwork talking about how much they love Trump and what they really felt. We started seeing all these hate groups pop up, all the racist rhetoric that they was spitting started being said louder and louder and louder. All of it really just bothered a lot of black folks. But now, look where we are. Look where we are now. Trump found guilty. Just like how people were screaming and shouting when he got elected about how he's going to change this country, and they tried to force him down our throats, and he's your president, and Trump is your president, and you're not American if you. Oh, okay. Well, and I'm not trying to start trouble, y'all. I'm really not. I'm not trying to start no mess. I'm not trying to start no fighting. if you love me and you like me and whatever, please understand that I'm not doing this to be malicious. I'm not doing this to be disrespectful. Well, a little bit, but I'm not doing it to be disrespectful. But yeah, like your president is now a convicted felon. He's about to get what's called a DOC number. And that essentially means that he's the property of the government. As Beanie Siegel would say, he's state property. So, with that being said, what's going to happen now? How are they going to work all this out? Like, and it's crazy because I saw something the other day where they were talking about how they were going to figure out logistically, they were preparing for a guilty verdict. And then you started seeing all these people online talking about how they had to turn around and not turn around, but they had to go back. The jurors decided to go back and look at different statements from, Cohen and Banner or whoever his name is. They had to go back and really examine that because that right there was some craziness. You had to go back and find out and look into what they were talking about during the trial. Anytime they decide they want to go back and listen to stuff, it's more than likely that not everybody agrees. But for them to actually find him guilty on all counts, whoever them jurors were, they was trying to wash him out. They was trying to wash him up, get him up out of here. They got him good. But yeah, Trump, he's got a couple of weeks before they do sentencing. So when you saw him come out the car, and I'm gonna post the clip on YouTube where they showed him getting out the car when he got to Trump Tower, and he went and saluted the fans, well, his supporters. That did not look like the same Donald Trump from 6 weeks ago, when he was just as confident and doing rallies and all that stuff. Now look, my brother looks stressed. Well, I'm sorry, let me correct that. The former president looks stressed. Trump looks like he going through it. Homeboy is really going through it. And it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Sorry, but I ain't. That's gonna be my new motto. Sorry, but I ain't. I'm not. He yeah. I'm not gonna say he had it coming. I'm not gonna say, but I will say that people get what they deserve. People get what they ask for. People get what they put into um they put into the atmosphere. And it is what it is. It is what it is, y'all. Hold on. Let me see something. I'm gonna try to do this. Can you do that from here? No, I didn't think so. Okay. Y'all forgive me. I've been using StreamYard for several years now, and there's some things on here that I did not know you could do. Oh, wait, maybe I can. Hang on a second. Oh, actually, yes, I think I can do this. Let's see if this works. No, I don't think so. If I can't do it, that's okay. We'll figure it out. But that's okay. But yeah, Trump is done. He's gone. I don't know what exactly what happens now, but I will say this. Um, Black people, black folks, y'all got a job to do, and y'all know what I'm talking about. All this, oh, I don't know, I don't want to vote, I don't want to. You ain't got no choice now. I do not want to hear anybody screaming about how bad this country is now after this election. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't care what your excuse is. Get your butt up and go vote. Get your behind up and go put your ballot in. Go put your ballot in. Mr. Steinglass. No. Yeah. Go put your ballot in. Because, like it or not, there's trouble ahead. Trouble is ahead. It's coming. I don't know how exactly, but yeah, it's a done deal for him. Um, Southern District of New York wasn't playing. FBI, the feds wasn't playing. Let this be a lesson that you cannot do dirt without having to pay for it. You cannot do dirt without having to, you know, be accountable. Let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can make this work. Forgive me, y'all. I'm trying to figure this out. Yeah, they're doing a press conference right now regarding the guilty verdict today. Talked about the history of the office. My personal history. I started as a prosecutor in 2000 Integrity Unit in the New York State Attorney General's office.
I served also on the Public Integrity Unit in the Southern District of New York. These are kind of cases I've done personally, and it's a hallmark of the tradition of this office that I'm proud to lead.
I'm gonna turn this up so y'all can hear it.
I don't want to go into the whole body of litigation, but we now have a federal court decision ruling on the legal theories. We had a state court decision on the omnibus motions, but most importantly, today we have the most important voice of all, and that's the voice of the jurors. They have spoken. Donald J. Trump has been convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records. Thank you.
District Attorney, your office has been investigating this case since 20.
Are you concerned
There we go.
Retribution if Trump is elected president?
Right, you heard there from Alvin Bragg, kind of tying a bow on this story. I thought that question was quite interesting on whether or not he's concerned about retribution should former President Donald Trump get reelected in 2024 and what that would look like. Remember, there's been some movement on Capitol Hill at the House Judiciary Committee led by Jim Jordan, the Republican of Ohio, to subpoena Bragg and his office for information about whether or not any federal funds were used to carry out this prosecution. So we'll have to see about that. But in the meantime here, we do want to bring into the conversation yet again someone who we have relied on so heavily here, Attorney. Thanks for being with us yet again. You're kind of making the circuit alongside us here. But one of the questions there to Alvin Bragg was more kind of a comment rather than a question. They asked whether Bragg agreed with the assessment of the prosecution, that it was one, masterful, and two, flawless. Is that an apt characterization? Would you agree with that?
Look, they got a guilty verdict. That was the goal, and so it's. I'll tell you this much. I'm a criminal defense lawyer, then off to the opponent. In this case, I'll tell you, it was a strategy that worked, and I think it worked very effectively. Their strategy in this case was what you would call a paper cut. It was death by paper.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. At the end of the day, when you play around with the federal government, you get the horns. When you decided to F around with the federal government and lie and pay women off because you did something you wasn't supposed to be doing, you're going to get what's coming to you. Ask Sean Combs how the federal government feel about that. How people in general feel about how you mistreat women and misuse funds. Bruh. They can't allow that. But that's okay. Because, oh, boy, you about to get what you... Ooh! That's okay. But I just want to come on here and give my take on it. Donald Trump found guilty, all counts. And like my cousin said on his Facebook, put this in context. It literally, if you get convicted of a felony, you cannot even apply to be a police officer. You can't. Well, they changed the law now where you can actually vote, I believe. Don't quote me on it. I'm not exactly sure. But I believe now in some instances, in some states, even if you are convicted of a felony, you can still vote. I hope that they change. If they haven't changed it yet, I hope that one day they do. But my cousin said, you can be if you're convicted of a felony, you can't even apply to be a police officer. That's just not going to happen. But 34 felony counts, or however many felony counts, and you can be the sitting president of the United States. Not cool. And on that note, David Starr,